How's it going, guys? Herbalist40 here, and welcome back. Okay, so for today's video, um, it's gonna hopefully serve as help for most of you guys, because I think like at least 95% of us agree that the Vanilla Unicorn is a very interesting place, and that the strippers and the booty calls are also quite tied in with the Epsilon tracks, etc. So I've kind of made this video here for you guys to be able to see a little bit clearer about what's going around the strippers and what's going on around the Vanilla Unicorn itself. So the first thing I'm going to bring up here is something that Wispy Woods has already shown you in different ways, different variants, but it's good and evil, and obviously between the two we're going to have to make choices which are going to either lead to one or the other. Um, Now, I'm pointing this out in the beginning of the video because I've put in a lot of effort, which is why I haven't actually uploaded in the past couple of days. Um, I've actually tried to make this as enjoyable and understandable to watch as I really possibly can with the skills I have right now. So anyway, I'm sorry for the delay. I hope you all enjoy, and just for the beginning, we're going to bear in mind that obviously choices incite either good or evil. So, I want to start off with what we know about the Vanilla Unicorn in itself before we approach the strippers. First of all, we have the fact that they only play 6 songs in the club. Dwayne complains about this quite a lot. Um, I'm not going to go into the detail of what the songs are. You can go Google that for yourselves. I didn't. They are interesting, but I didn't want to spend 20 minutes explaining why. Anyway, next off we have the fact that the Vanilla Unicorn online unlocks at level 6, and the other remaining fact that I figured out is online and story mode combined. There are 6 strippers that you can take home for a booty call out of 8. So next up, I'm going to show you a little clip of something inside the club, which I think is to be noted. Right, so I could be wrong on this, but my theory is these lights could be symbolizing planets or possibly chemicals. Um, Now, it could just be realistic lighting. I'm not really sure how that's done, but as far as I'm concerned, they look very strange, so I'd like to hear other people's thoughts on this particular matter. Next up, it is going to be important to point out that you can place money on, or basically buy shares in the Vanilla Unicorn. Now, I haven't actually seen any videos or many posts on any forums about this before, but if you're looking at the Vanilla Unicorn and you're thinking about theories towards this particular place and the strippers, etc., I don't think we could exclude the fact that it is available to purchase their shares. So, I don't know, maybe this isn't for everyone, but I'm trying to get a little bit for each different kind of hunter to go on. I'm trying to spark some fire on these particular ideas, notably that Bry put in his most recent video. Okay, so a lot of you probably won't have noticed this next little point out here that I've got for you is on the Vanilla Unicorn's menu. On the chalkboard here, there's one dish that stands out to me, and that is coq au vin, which, as you can see on the screen right now, is rooster cooked in wine. Now, obviously, we have the rooster relating to the egg, we have that relating to the Clockenbell, we have that relates to pretty much everything we've been looking at up until now. And alongside that, as far as Epsilon connections goes, we do have the fact that the rooster here is cooked in wine. The only reason I know this is it's a traditional French dish, and I live in France, so there's a bit of information on herb for you guys. Next up, we have the snake slash serpent that's in the Vanilla Unicorn. I'm not going to stop on this because there's not much to say. I've brought it up 100 times before. We all know why it's relevant. Um, but more importantly here, I wanted to show you the carpet in the Vanilla Unicorn because it is quite interesting and it does go unnoticed. So, as you can see here, basically the carpet is a series of patterns, and one out of the two patterns is what I call a trinity tree. So it would be three trees coming from the same root, and this pattern is repeated all over the nightclub. The trinity is very important to us. A few people have already spoken about it, whether it be on the dagger, whether it be the fact that we have three protagonists. Um, Now, here's something I want to point out. Is there a reference here to our protagonist? Is this because there's many things that could attribute to this, but basically they're very much tied to this place, and is this place linking them together? Is this the symbol of that explanation, if you see what I mean? Are they trying to tell us that all three of our guys are supposed to do something at this point? I'm not too sure. Right, next up, this is a very old find of mine, something I noticed when I first started hunting, and obviously with the wiped out letters, it becomes the Wings of Truth mission, Angels Turn Away, and this is obviously stuck to the Vanilla Unicorn, so the reason I'm bringing it back up is because I want to give you guys everything we know about this place and everything that might have gone unnoticed that I could find. Right, so I know, I like my astrology and my numerology and geometry, but sticking to numerology on this one, I'm going to point out that it takes three strikes to be thrown out of the club before Trevor actually purchases it, or yeah, overtakes it.
Touch you, leave. Now let's go.
Right, so last thing before we move on to the strippers and the booty calls, with a little bit of research, this is what I figured out about the Vanilla Unicorn, and this is thanks to the Wikia, but I just pushed it one step further as I like to do. So basically, the Vanilla Unicorn is based on a real-life gentleman's club called the Spearmint Rhino. And if you want to talk colours, mint, spearmint, mint, even in the game for the cars, we have a mint green colour. So mint is a colour in a way. Um, the company that owns the Spearmint Rhino owns two other clubs. It owns the Rouge Club, which is obviously red in French, and it owns the Blue Zebra Club, which is obviously in the title blue. Um, Now, a lot of people have been looking into colours and what they may relate to, and myself included, I've gone into auras and all sorts of things like that. Um, but again, I don't think Rockstar just chooses things by accident. I think they make sure that everything can relate. Um, and I also think there's a small trail of breadcrumbs that will lead us to what we're looking for ultimately. And I'm going to give a little bit more insight to that in the future. But for now, that's what I wanted to point out about the Vanilla Unicorn. I did leave out a few bits and pieces that weren't really quite that relevant. Like there are cocktail stirrers with the Mount written on them, and all sorts of little bits and pieces that I noticed that I didn't think was relevant for the video. I just wanted to point out the main things in my regards. Right, so for the second part of our video, as I said, we're going to be focusing on the strippers and the booty calls. Um, yeah, I know I say it all the time, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. These three that you're looking at now aren't available to take home in story mode, so I'm not going to really focus on these three. Um, I'll just say that Cheetah could be influenced by the Cheetah, the vehicle that we have in the game, and I will say as well that Chastity is available to take home online, but I'm not going to focus on the online version. Okay, so I do want to make a quick stop on Peach. Now, I'm going to point out that you can not take Peach home, whether it be story mode or online, she is not available to take home. The thing I wanted to point out about her, I say she, I say her, there's a very strong chance she's a transvestite, and her voice is even played by a male actor. Um, and the only reason I went to check this out is because I paid attention to her voice for the first time the other day, and I thought something sounded a little bit weird. So I went on the wiki, and it is confirmed it is a dude who makes her voice. So she is most likely intended to be a transvestite. Now, this could possibly relate to Epsilon, but I'm not too sure what to think of her because we can't actually interact with her. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about Peach. Please feel free to put that in the comment section below. I will check that out. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the 4 strippers that we can actually take home for a booty call in story mode. I've put them in a certain order, and I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can. The first one we're looking at here is Juliet. Now, she is the one who lives the closest to the club. I do have a map for you guys that will be a little bit later on in the video so that you can put your theories to test a little bit easier. But yeah, she's the one who lives the closest, and it's also important to point out that she is blonde, she wears red clothing, and the fact that once you have taken her home and slept with her, it systematically rains after that event, kind of similar to Ursula, who is one of the non-stripper booty calls. So I just wanted to point out, for those of you who didn't know, if you do actually take Juliet home, it will systematically rain afterwards.
Hey there, gorgeous. Tell me you love it. You like it.
Okay, so I tested it just to make sure that was my own footage. I do confirm it does rain every single time. Next up though, the second one that we can take for a booty call is Infernus. Now, as far as wordplay goes, this could be signifying in hell, as in the furnace which is hell. It could also be a representation of a cult car in GTA, which is the Infernus, and that was the car that I showed you when Michael was doing the LCN a little bit earlier on in the video. For those of you who don't know what the Infernus is, there have been many links to cars before. There's not much to say about this one apart from that she has very dark hair and she wears red and black clothing. I'm gonna put up a short clip of Infernus being picked up with Michael as well, so I'll meet you back again after that.
Oh, hello. Oh, you're so big.
Rise!
Remember?
Okay, so sorry that little clip there got cut short, but that's just basically the PlayStation recording system for you. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. Now, I wanted you to pay attention to the police sirens for a particular reason, and this is something that I will test out personally, but I think I've realised something as I was putting this video together. And what I've realised is with Infernus and the same with Nikki, who you're looking at now, I'll show you again at the end of the clip with Nikki, but basically the same event happens. A police car comes bursting round with sirens chasing after a car. Now, it could be nothing, it could be something that doesn't repeat itself, it could be coincidence. As I said, I will try it out, but as I'm making the video, as I've got the footage here, if it does turn out to be something, I thought I'd point that out for you guys. But anyway, moving on to Nikki. The first thing I'm going to say is that she has jet black hair and she wears a red and black bikini with purple boots. I forgot to point out, obviously, Infernus wears the red boots. These two are quite similar as to what they look like. Another thing that's important to point out about her is that if you call her during the day, she says she has a urine infection. Now, for some reason, this makes me think of my Orion connections and the way she's connected to, well, the way Orion's original name was, in fact, Urine. And the other thing I want to point out is that she does make an appearance in the Cunning Stunt Academy advert on the in-game television. I don't have footage of that, I'm afraid. If you want, you'll be able to check it out on YouTube pretty easily. So here we go for Nikki's clip. I'll meet you again after that.
Hi, sexy.
Right, so last but not least in our stripper slash booty call list of 4 girls that we have is Sapphire. Now, as I said about the previous one, I just wanted to point out that the police do appear. I'm not saying it is anything, I do have to look into it, but as I'm doing this, I just wanted to point it out for those of you who are wondering why I'm not going into depth about that. But anyway, as far as Sapphire is concerned, she's got kind of a fair hair going on. She might be blonde, might be just kind of dark coloured hair, and she wears a purple corset. Also, I'm going to point out she lives at the Vinewood Royale, and as you'll see at the end of the clip, the building does hold a crown on the wall. So I think that could be significant in itself. I'll point it out at the moment we come across that in the clip. Also concerning Sapphire, she is the only one who actually appears in cutscenes in story mode and online, and I think that's Rockstar's way of telling us to pay close attention to her. And I'm sure you've all seen it, but Bry's video does bring up quite a bit of detail about Sapphire and what could be considered connected to her. Other than that, she does know Franklin on a personal kind of level. She has kind of a nickname for him, but for now I'm just going to play the clip, and same as with the other 3, I'll join you at the end of that to share a little bit more about her.
you have any nitrous at home? I love nitrous.
Sounds interesting.
Wow. Have you been eating asparagus? I
Yes.
love
Okay, so I'm sure you will notice the crown, and that's obviously something that we've brought up many times before. That's what I kind of like to bring you guys, is new connections to the same things to kind of prove and confirm that this isn't just madness. There is a system behind all of this, um, and it's just a little bit of a complicated one. It's not completely out of reach. It just takes a little bit of work, and we are making progress. Well, at least I think we are. I know there's a hell of a lot of things going around about jetpack mods, etc. Fine, if people want to concentrate on that, may they concentrate on that. That's not what I'm here for. But I'm sure you noticed I pointed out during that little clip of Sapphire there that she asked Michael if she could get her hands on some nitrous. Now, she is a nitrous addict, and nitrous goes through many names, such as laughing gas and all sorts of others. But as far as nitrous oxide goes, for those of you who are actually looking for a jetpack, now this for me, if I was actually here looking for a jetpack alone, nitrous would be something that would catch my attention, because nitrous, if you're going to look at the realistic side of things, if you're going to have a jetpack, nitrous would be one of the major components, major elements as to making that jetpack work, fly. So I find it interesting, first of all, for that matter, but as you can see on the screen now, I've made this little diagram for you of basically how the chemical components of nitrous oxide show up, because nitrous oxide, the drug, is the same chemical. So this is also connecting to the beginning of the video as to what I was trying to explain to you as to good and evil, and this side of things is a little bit theoretical, and it is my theory, but as you can see here, nitrous is 2/3 blue, 1/3 red, and that's why I wanted to focus your attention on the aspect of blue and red and good and evil in choices. And I didn't have to go out of my way to find this. This is just the chemical basis of nitrous oxide if you search for the drug, and this is what comes up on Wikipedia. As for the chemical lettering at the bottom, I think I've actually seen that in game before. I just can't remember where. So if anyone can help me out on that, that would be awesome. But yeah, again, I find it interesting how it always led back to the same sort of connection, just every time in a little bit more detail. And the more we push, the more chance we have of, in the end, understanding and hopefully obtaining something. So the purpose of this video was to kind of be helpful to those who are investigating this whole 9-partner thing from the Epsilon program, the different possibilities that could have come from the Vanilla Unicorn and these strippers. So to kind of help you with that some more, I've got here the shifts and the hours to which strippers appear and when you can find them. Note, if you get one of the bunch of 4s here that you can see on the screen in there, and stay in there, they won't change shift. You just have to go outside and come back in, and so long as it's in between these hour barriers, whatever group is in the barrier will appear. Okay, and finally I'm going to bring up the map that I mentioned. Right, so here you have it, and let me just point out before I go any further that obviously I tried to rush it, because this was taking me ages to get all this research done and put this video together on top of all the other projects that I've started for you guys. I appear to have mixed up Juliet and Nikki at the bottom of the map, so for this map to be correct, just switch Juliet and Nikki, because as I said in the beginning, Juliet is the one who lives closest to the Vanilla Unicorn. So just switch those 2 names, and the map is correct. So the reason I put this up in the first place is because I believe it could help in certain theories, including mine. Okay guys, so there you have it. I hope I brought something new to every single one of you, at least one element that you hadn't seen before or perhaps hadn't thought of. I'm hoping to help a lot of you spark some theories and perhaps simplify some that you already have by referring to this video maybe. Anyway, in regards to that, feel free to hit me up in the comment section below. For those of you that are new to the channel and just checking the videos out, if you appreciate what you see, I'd much like it if you could subscribe and perhaps drop a comment of what you think, if you like or dislike, whatever. But anyway guys, as per usual, take it easy, and until next time, see ya.
You...